All right, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a material takeoff and an estimate for a foundation. This is actually one of our live jobs, so I'm taking the time to kind of show and train some of our people that are off camera. You can't see them, but I'm going to go through and we're going to go through the whole process of figuring out how much concrete we need for the footings on this job, right? So if you can, grab a notepad and a piece of paper. You're going to have to write down some measurements as I call it out to you and show you. And I'm going to write it on the board as we go as well. Let me grab a marker. And I'm going to have you guys punching in the numbers while we're doing this, okay? So this is one of this is the front job. So you're tracking, right?
Right.
And the guys are digging the footings. We already have all the numbers, so I'm just showing you guys how to do it the old-fashioned way first.
Right.
We have a software program that is digitized, and we already have all this done. I'll train you on that once you're able to do it the old-fashioned way of doing it with the plans. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the guys have already went out and started digging on the foundation. So what I'm going to do now is the first thing you have to do is we're estimating the footings. And the first question you've got to ask is, well, what is the size of the footings? Well, when you look at the detail, which I don't have this sheet here, but we always do a 12-inch thick on our houses, 12-inch thick, right, by 24 inches wide. So I'm going to put over here footings, stand out of the way here, right, is what we're figuring. And they're 12 inches thick by 24 inches wide. Right? Now, you'll be able to look on Adam's plans or in the details and know that. But I'm telling you, so next plan you do, you look through the detail sheet and find out what the thickness and what the width is, right? Now that we have that, the next thing we're going to want to do is the formula. What is the formula for figuring concrete for the footings, right? It's length times thickness times width, right? Divided by 27, if I'm not mistaken. We'll double check this in just a
Count the
moment.
cubic yards.
That'll give us the cubic yards. This will give us cubic yards of concrete. And this is what we're after, because this is what we're getting ready to order on one of our job sites, right? Now, the guys that are doing the footings, the good thing about the way we have this set up is that they supply the concrete and do the labor for a price per yard. We'll get to that later. But for now, you want to know how to figure your own concrete, because you don't always want to trust people. Because once you start trusting people, they could possibly take advantage of you. Yes or no?
Right.
Right? So, we know length. We already know we need to find out the length of the footings. We already know the thickness and the width. We established that by saying 12 inches thick by 24 inches wide. Make sense?
Yep.
Right. So now, how do we find out how long are the footings? What's the length of all the footings? We know all the footings here are going to be 12 inches by 24. Ready? So now start writing this down. How you find the length is you look on the plan.
Right.
No, we already know the thickness and the width, so all we need is the lineal foot of the footings now. So we're going to start off, say over here on the garage side over here. I'm going to highlight each one, and then you're going to, Kennedy, come up here for a second with your book. As I highlight this, you're going to say the length. What is the length of this wall? Right here.
So 28 foot.
Right, so write down 28 foot, everybody. That's your first measurement. right? Now, you're going to continue on. Here's your next wall, here. What is the measurement of that wall, Kenny?
15 foot and 8.5 inches.
Write that measurement down. 15 feet, 8.5 inches. All right. Now your next wall is here. Right? What is that measurement?
8 foot and 11 inches.
Okay. Now, Christian, bring your notepad over here, use the clipboard, you come do the same thing. So that way all you guys are tracking this stuff, and then I'll have Juan come call out the next measurements. This is the old-fashioned way of doing it. Ready?
Man,
You ready? So this is your next wall. What is the measurement from here to there? You see it?
13 foot and 9 inches.
Right. Everybody, this is my nephew. He's shadowing me, so I'm teaching him also while he's shadowing me. All right. Now we need this wall. What is that measurement there, Christian?
Maybe this.
No, over here. It's from here to there. What is
8 feet.
8 feet, right. And so you repeat this process till you highlight all of your walls with all of your lengths. Then you're going to add up all of those lengths that you're writing down. So you're just basically writing down all your lengths at this point, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so it ain't taking forever. But Juan, if you can you come over here too and step here, and then I'm going to show you right here. The next wall is right down 17 foot 1 inch.
Yeah, that's what you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I need your participation, bro.
We're modeling you on.
So now you got 17 foot 1 is the next measurement. Ready? Your next measurement here, the one I just highlighted, is 25 foot 2. Your next measurement is 8 feet. So you write down 8 foot. Our next measurement across the back is going to be 19 foot 10. So you got 19 foot 10, and you're going to write 19 foot 10 again because you got two walls here. That is the same length. So you got 19 foot 10 one time and 19 foot 10 again. Then you're going to come here and highlight this wall. And then that wall is going to be 28 foot 8. And then add another 8 foot for this wall up here. So from here down is 28 foot 8 and 8 feet. You got that? 28 foot 8 and 8 feet. Now this wall across the front, that wall is 19 foot 1 inch. And when you're done, you want to highlight each one of these numbers so you know you've accounted for it when you go back and look over it, right? Now we're here at this corner, that's 14 foot 4.5. Highlight it and highlight your measurement. 14 foot 4.5. Your next wall is going to be 4 foot. So you highlight the 4 foot measurement. Your next wall is 7 foot 9. And I'm highlighting them as I go. So now I'm going to speed up because you guys get the concept. 4 foot is your next measurement. Now you've got 22 foot 2 inches is your next measurement.
20 foot.
22 foot 2 is the next measurement. Then 4 foot. Your next measurement is 7 foot 9. Your next measurement is 4 foot. Your next measurement is 3 foot 6 inches. Your next measurement is going to be 38 foot 11. The next measurement will be 4 feet. Your next measurement will be 17 foot 1. Your next measurement will be 25 feet, 1/2 inch. Your next measurement will be 13 foot, 2 1/2 inches. Your next measurement will be 13 feet, 11. Now to close this out on the exterior walls, your final measurement will be 16 foot 3. Hopefully this comes across the camera. So a lot of you guys already probably watching these know this. So I'm just starting over from scratch, teaching as if you have absolutely no clue about how to figure this, right? A lot of you already know this stuff. So this is the old school way of doing it with pen and paper, highlighting, color coding what you've done so you know you've done it, right? So now we've just got all of our perimeter walls. Now we have one more wall that we're missing that is really an exterior wall. It's just a separation wall between the house and the garage. That wall, let's see if we can find that measurement. And we don't have that measurement. So this is where we need Adam to tell us. You would pull out a scale ruler. Right? One option is, it says, what's the scale it says there, Kennedy?
1/4 inch by 1 foot.
Every 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, right? So one of the things you could do is use a measuring tape. And I'm gonna just start out with an even number, right? It's any number. So you can start here either way there, but I like doing it so I can put the tape on it right there. And I know that every 1/4 inch equals a foot. So you've got how many 1/4 inches in each inch? 4. So every inch equals 4 feet, right?
Yes.
So you've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 feet. Is this wall here. And I'll write that in there because there isn't a specific measurement for that. I'm gonna say 22 feet. And I'll highlight that. Okay, so now these are all the walls for that foundation that needs footings. These right here is what's called lug footings, right there. Those lug footings, you don't have to do that when you're digging the main footings. The lug footings come after the concrete guys backfill and tamp this, and before we pour the concrete slab. So right now, we've just got the guys out there digging the footings for the exterior walls. What they have to account for on this particular plan, it does call for footings across here at the courtyard. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that so we don't forget that. And write down specifically courtyard footings. And write down these measurements. Right? So you've got 4 foot 5 inches, and I'll highlight it. Then you got 2 foot 2. Then you got another 4 foot 5 inches, and another 2 foot 2. You got another 2 foot 2, and another 4 foot 5 1/2 inches, and then you've got 11 inches. Those are all your measurements for where we need to calculate concrete footings on this particular house plan at this stage. Because the guys there now are just digging this, right? So now what do? You take all those measurements that I gave you and you add them up. So what you do you have all of them? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just so everybody that's watching this can follow, call me out those measurements and I'm going to write them down here on the board.
28 foot, 15 foot, 8 1/2 inches.
Slow down, 15 feet,
Yes, 8 1/2 inches.
okay,
8 foot
8 feet,
and 11 inches.
11 inches, got it,
13 foot and 9 inches.
okay.
8 foot even. 17 foot and 1 inch.
17 feet, 1 inch,
25 foot and 2 inch,
25 feet, 2 inch.
8 foot.
Okay.
19 foot, 10 inches.
Okay.
19 foot, 10 inches.
Mm-hmm.
28 foot, 11 inches.
28 feet, 11 inches.
Yes.
Okay.
8 foot,
8 feet,
19 foot, 1 inches.
19 foot 1 inches.
14 foot, 4.5 inches.
14 foot 4.5 inches. Okay.
4 foot,
4 foot,
7 foot, 9 inches.
7 foot 9 inches.
4 foot,
4 foot,
22 foot and 2 inches.
22 foot and 2 inches.
4 foot,
4 foot,
7 foot and 9 inches.
7 foot 9 inches.
4 foot,
4 foot,
3 foot, 6 inches.
3 foot 6 inches.
38 foot, 11 inches.
38 foot 11 inches.
4 foot,
4 foot,
17 foot, 1 inches.
17 foot 1 inches.
25 foot, 1/2 inch.
25 foot 1/2 inch. Is that everything?
A couple more.
Okay, keep going.
13 foot, 2.5 inches.
Okay.
13 foot, 11 inches. 16 foot, 3 inches. And then that interior garage wall was 22.
22 feet. Right. Is that everything?
Other than the courtyard footings,
Any of
yes.
those measurements too?
4 foot, 5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
2 foot, 2 inches. 4 foot and 5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
2 foot and 2 inches. 2 foot and 2 inches again. 4 foot and 5.5 foot. And then 11 inches.
4 foot 5.5 feet, or 5 foot 1/2 inch.
Yes, 5 foot, 1/2 inch.
And what else?
And then 11 inches.
All right. So now to figure out what we needed to know the length. We already knew the thickness. These are all of our lengths. Now what I have on my phone is what they call an inch and feet calculator. Because if not, you have to convert all this over to decimal format. Right? I don't know about you guys, but I don't like doing it. I ain't that smart in math. So I use this calculator here. It's called MECalc, where you can download an app that allows you to punch in feet and inches and add it. Right? So I can do a screen recording and show that. Does anybody else have a feet and inch calculator on their phone? You got one, Juan? So, yeah, see that one right there is a regular calculator. You'll have to convert every one of these into decimal formats. So let's go ahead and download, search for a feet and inch calculator on the App Store and download it on your phones. While you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding all this up.
Yours is called ME.
Yeah, well, you have to pay. You can just do an app search for feet and inch calculator. So if my math is right, we're going to have 467 feet, 6 1/2 inch. We can double check that. I may be off some or whatnot, but for estimation purposes, we're going to roll with that, right? So now your next step will be 467 feet, 6 1/2 inches, right? Times, we said 12 inches thick, times 24 inches wide. That'll give us how many yards of concrete we need. Now, if you've got a feet and inch calculator, you simply type it in as you see it. 467 feet, 6 1/2 times 12 inches times 24 inches equals to 34.6 cubic yards. 0.63 cubic yards. Right? How many yards of concrete do we order if we're going to place this order? Normally we add a 10% waste factor on anything. So we said this, right? So I would probably but here's the thing: how many yards of concrete comes in a truck? So this ain't estimate. This is the job, right? So we need to know that because you order 36, they might charge you more for 2 yards. There's 10 yards per truck. So a note to always know about it is 10 yards per truck. Right? So we're going to need at least 3.5 trucks. That's without a waste factor. Right? So when you do a waste factor of 10%, you're going to need another 3.5, so 34, 35, 36, 37. You might as well say 38 yards. Plus, say 10%. You might as well say 38 yards of concrete. Now, watch this. Do you order the 38 yards, knowing that there's 10 yards per truckload? So you would have essentially 3.8 truckloads if you ordered it like that. Or would you go ahead and order 4 truckloads?
Go for
4.
just in case.
Right? Yeah, because if for some reason they dig those footers out wider than what we figured here, say like, you're going to have steps back here. You probably want to have steps here, right? So they might have dug this out wider than the 2 foot. Even though we got the 10%, it's just going to make sense to go ahead and order 4 truckloads, right? Worst case is, you got a little more. It's better to have a little more in this case than not have enough. Then you got to order another truck and you spend even more money. So I would say, if we were figuring this job, we need 40 yards. 40 yards or what, Christian?
4 truckloads.
Or 4 truckloads. Pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, that was good.
Make sense?
Yeah.
You have to find a better calculator, but yes.